yell barracuda. Everybody says, huh? What? You yell shark. We've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
Shut up. I'm rich. I'm richer than all this, you Hollywood trash.
A, you can never go too far. B, if I'm gonna get busted, it is not gonna be by a guy like that.
I'll be back.
Here's Johnny.
We've got her. It's Life with Katie on the Al Travis Show. Always love having her on the program. Going to be an interesting show. Katie, how are you doing today?
I'm hanging in there, Al. How are you?
It's a strange feeling for me today, and I knew it. I texted or Facebooked it yesterday on the show page. Not sure how we're going to handle the show today.
Right.
And I don't know if people thought, you're being weird. I just don't know how much to discuss Charlie Kirk or not. But I got up this morning and watched more video, and you see all this stuff going on. And one thing's really driving me nuts, all these people that are doing little dances and that sort of thing. I don't know who you have to be to see even your worst enemy pass, get shot, assassinated, and your thought is, I should get a video of me dancing.
I would say it tells you everything you need to know about those people.
Yeah.
And I would categorically probably not talk to those people again. I don't want to be friends with those people. I don't want to be associated with them, because what that says, their feeling about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, it tells you, I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
And they don't, that you would think it was wonderful that some young man in the prime of his life with 2 young kids was just sitting there talking, trying to have a conversation, and somebody shot him and killed him, and you think that's funny or cool or whatever. I don't want to be friends with you. I don't want to talk to you. I'm not going to look at your stuff on X. I want to pretend like you don't exist. I would see, and that's my world. You don't.
The only way that gets to my ex is somebody else liked it or shared it or forwarded it. I don't know the people that are in these videos. But my point is, why do that? If we want to stop this, we say we do. Then when Knucklehead does video and it's crazy, delete. And when they have no followers anymore because they have their 2 friends that they can go back, good. We won't hear from them. We got to start taking more control.
I would agree. And I think it's interesting how is it that the Congress heckles the people wanting, the Republicans want to do a moment of silence, but the New York Yankees did it. It's like, it leaves me speechless.
Let me ask you this, though. He wasn't going after you and I. I mean, I think he minded us following him. My kids were the age that he wanted. My kids followed him. My kids, I presume, watch almost every video he's probably ever made. And that's how I get involved, right? The man was brilliant. High school graduate, but he'd bring up the Bible and he'd be able to quote some scripture, this and that. I wish I was that good at it. It doesn't stick in my head like that. Or he'd be talking about, did you read Saul and this and that, and he'd just be talking to these people. I love the cat. And what I mean by it, he literally have 3,000 people like in Utah. Hey, if you disagree with me, come to the front of the line. Let's, he just didn't need people kissing up to him. Let's get the people who want to discuss it. And I don't think I ever heard him raise his voice. He just calmly talked to people. It drove them nuts. I want to be that guy. I want all of us to be that guy. The ability to say what you say, be nice about it, and we'll disagree.
Right? He's like a modern day Jesus. That he could sit and talk and just not get along with people is the right word, but he wasn't trying to poke the bear, and he was just just gave his truth. Let me throw this out to you. Maybe it's a crazy analogy, but it affected my family in that I don't know how many texts we got saying, hey, did you hear and hear? And then, I'm on the golf course just kind of figuring it out. I imagine you and I are the same age, so I know you were there. The day Reagan got shot. Oh, I remember.
You recall? Yeah, everybody gets sent home. We had heard about it in the gymnasium. They tell us we all go home. I remember sitting for the rest of the night watching TV. Watching the news. There were only 3 newscasts back then, kids. Look it up. Watching NBC, ABC, who had the latest thing. And I remember my folks being very heartfelt upset that someone would do this to the president for, quote unquote, no reason. I think this has got to be this generation's version of that. even if you're not on Charlie Kirk's side, the idea that he can't say what he wants to say is become reality to these people. 85 million followers. That's like 1 in 4 in the country, for God's sakes. They knew who he was, and they knew how he acted. I think it's their Ronald Reagan getting shot. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think that's a really good point. And I remember when Ronald Reagan got shot. I remember being in Mrs. Anderson's English class, and somebody whose initials are MS that was said, "Oh, good, I don't like him." And even back then, and I remember I never thought of that person the same. And here we are, how many years later? And I can still tell who it was, and
that's just
blown away.
These are those moments. And now, so I've had tons of texts with my kids. One called last night. We talked for a while. You and yours, long conversations. Is it a thing with them? I know you have one son that probably doesn't care if it isn't to do with iguanas or some weird lizard thing. Do you have got?
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't hear from Tyler at work, because I'm sure he knows who he is and has probably watched his videos and stuff. My daughter was like, "Well, I'm really sorry that happened." Would be on the other side of the aisle, but she's like, "Yeah, I'm really sorry that happened. I know you're really upset. That's not okay." And I'm like, "Thank you."
That's a normal. You've raised good kids.
That's how you're supposed to feel about it. I've got friends who are livid and are all fired up, and which I think is appropriate. And I know we were going out last night, and I thought for a birthday celebration for somebody who was sick the week of Marie and my birthdays, and I was like, I hope it doesn't come up, because I will get up and leave if something is said that's inappropriate. And then I sat next to somebody who felt the same way I did last night, and her kids are devastated because they're of that age and they follow them. And she and I were just like, okay, we're going home. And then another friend of mine she's like, all of my friends are really liberal and are probably in the cheerleading section. I mean, they're so demented. I'm like, how do you have family that is that literally demented? And she's like, yeah, I don't know. But I called you because I knew I could sit and talk with you about it. Yeah. And I'm like, well, you know what? I think you stand up to those people. And she's like, I'm usually really quiet. Nope. I think the bear has been poked, and people are done being the silent majority. I think it's time to have a revolution or a revolution or any of that stuff.
See, but I think you're right here.
Ourselves.
This is what I told one of my sons. I said, this might be that thing that wakes you all up. For how long have a lot of us sat on the sidelines and didn't want to say our truth, what we really think about this, that, and the other thing, because, the other side will get all mad and call you names and you're, this or that. Charlie Kirk just said his truth. He told you what he believed, and you could like him, you could hate him, he didn't care. If we can all live that way, both sides, by the way, left, you can do it too. So maybe it wakes that bear up enough that we can start having real conversations, and it isn't a name-calling thing. I don't know if this is big enough for that, but I don't know what would be bigger. I mean, I hope that's where that goes.
The only thing that could be bigger is if President Trump hadn't turned his head last year, and hadn't gotten shot in the ear and had suffered a fate similar to Charlie yesterday.
I'll share only because I hope they don't listen. I had a friend make a weird comment after finding out about us Republicans. You'll get even, I'm sure. At the time, I'm like, I can't. I wanted to just up and leave, right? I'm like, no, this is crazy talk. I don't know where you're coming from. But after spending the night, it's like, no, I need them to continue to be in that circle to show them that that's not who we are. I'm more than willing to have any conversation with it at any time, but I think we can't bury our souls and say, oh, you're just too cray-cray for me. That's where we get the two camps. I'm going to have to fight that want to walk away.
Well, good for you. And I think that's why your show is really important, because you try and show both sides and talk to both sides, which is really good. I just have no interest.
I think, you do know who you are when they do some of these things, like the shooting of the president, now Kirk. You do a happy dance, you're not coming to New Year's Eve in my place.
No,
That's-
no, not my house either. And you know,
Yeah.
what else is interesting. You don't hear a lot of I guess maybe I missed it, but I don't hear a lot of people screaming for gun control either. It's like no, because you know what? People who are sick, weird, and demented, they're gonna take a pocket knife to a gallon of train. They're gonna John Wick somebody with a pencil. People who are sick and demented and are gonna figure out a way.
Well, it's like down in was it New Orleans? The guy took the car, went around the barrier, and ran people over. The school thing. If he didn't have a gun, he could have ran through the stained glass window with his truck. I mean, bad people will do bad things. We just got to figure out who the bad ones are. And I use this. I don't think you and I talk. The naked guy at the Capitol in Minnesota here, you know, declaring himself the governor. If that cat can't get time with Dr. Phil at the hospital, you know, who's getting it? This guy was naked in the Capitol, and you said, nah, he's not. Just send him back out. If we're not giving him time, you're never going to catch the kid who did the shooting. You're never going to catch the guy who took the time to make his car look like a police car. You know, you're never going to catch the smart ones if you can't get naked guy out of the Capitol and get him help.
Well, and here's the thing. Hey, here's a crazy idea. And again, if you can't agree to this, then I don't even know what to tell you. I don't know. If people are criminals, maybe we put them in jail and we leave them there. Do we get them help? Sure. Okay. But you know what? If you've got 14 felonies or if you've been arrested 14 times or whatever it is, you know what? Your behind unfortunately belongs in jail, and you shouldn't be out roaming the streets. And if
or the bus. Are you looking at the gal from New York that got knifed by that guy with 14 or 15 arrests, and they just keep sending him back out, and he knifed that gal in New York? Is that the one you're talking about? That's what hit my head when you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It's just so. And if you're like, well, no, that seems like that's okay. Again, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to say.
With this guy from New York, you know, we used to have 3 strikes, you're out, but that was too cruel. Like you trip on 3 felonies somehow. It wasn't really, you know, whatever. So what's 4 strikes, 5, 6? Can we get to 6? Can we all agree 6 strikes is enough, and then you're a bad person and you go to jail? We can't come up with that number. It's so funny to me because again, that knifing in New York. How was that guy on the streets?
Yeah, there's no reason for him to be. And if you're, you know what, and here's the thing that I don't get. I have a friend of mine who has unfriended me because I'm a Republican. She did that back during the elections. And it's like, you know what? We've been friends since freshman year in college. And it's like, okay, we've been friends for over 40 years. But you're more worried about being nice to people that are mentally ill than you are in being somebody who has stood by you for over 40 years. Auf Wiedersehen.
Sayonara.
Bye-bye. And her birthday was the day before yesterday. And I thought, you know what? I should just send her a text and wish her happy birthday because we've been friends for over 40. And I'm like, you know what? Why do I have to be the nice person? Why do I have to be the person who doesn't worry about my feelings, but no, that's okay, and cares about yours? Yeah, you know what? I didn't. And I'm so glad I didn't because that's part of, I feel like I'm finally getting somewhere with my boundaries. And
good for you.
Right? Because
I like that a lot.
Be nice to these people. We don't have to be mean. We don't go out and shoot them, obviously. Yeah. But we don't have
to wish them a happy birthday. All right. I got to go to break. Got to do it. I have one thing to talk to you about, and it's getting scammed in your old age. It's Katie, Life with Katie on the Al Travis Show.
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's Barbecue suggests you try something different. Put out the perfect barbecue flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. Add it to your ribs, dip the meatballs, or drench your wings in the original flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. It isn't too hot or spicy, fruity or smoky or whatever. Grandpa's Barbecue. Available in select stores and online at grandpasbarbecueshop.com.
Tired of one-sided media and divisive noise drowning out your conservative values? Take back the conversation with Braver Angels. Join a grassroots movement to restore civility and find common ground without compromising your principles. As a conservative, your voice matters. Share your perspective on issues like immigration and public health in Red Blue workshops and help rebuild trust in our great nation. Be a leader in depolarizing America. Sign up for free at mn.braverangels.org. Braver Angels, where conservatives, liberals, and independents unite for a stronger republic.
It's nice to know a guy that knows a guy. Al Travis.
I've got her. It's Katie with Life with Katie here. You're muted, Katie. I get getting older and, staying up on technology is easy to get kind of taken advantage of. My mother, when Dad died, had to get Social Security numbers thing. She couldn't find her Social Security. $55, you get a new Social Security number. So she sent in the check. That's not how it works. SocialSecurity.gov will send you another one. You prove who you are, and it's like she got screwed up $55. Not the worst thing in the world. What's the worst you've ever been taken? Have you been? Off the top of your head, you don't look like you don't.
I'm sure I have been, but nothing is jumping.
Here's the one. This is in Japan. By the way, they do this stuff all over the world, which I now feel better about, even though I hate it. This gal starts getting emails and texts from a guy in Japan who is on the International Space Station.
Sure he is.
And there's an issue, and they need money or they will run out of air. And this woman fell for it and was mailing to a bank that could then... And I'm like, you know what? Maybe there's some people that should not have money at all. Because if you're sending money to an astronaut on the space station at your bank to buy air, you're not the sharpest stick in the drawer.
Wow, that's... You know what?
That's so sad. Send your life savings. I'm saving that astronaut.
Yeah, good. Well, hey, how do you know she hasn't? I haven't heard of any Japanese astronauts dying on the space station.
Well, here, let's do this.
So maybe she saved the day. I don't know.
The Nigerian prince thing was very original. I like that. I can get my money out. There was some... What knothead came up? Well, what if we are on the International Space Station and we needed air? Old ladies will go for this. How was that your plan?
Yeah, because that's
It worked. I mean,
right. But again, I haven't heard of any Japanese astronauts dying on this space station, so maybe she saved the day.
you almost wonder if folks like that are making their payments and making a living, able to, how the rest of us haven't done better in life. I mean, should it be easy to be a chameleonaire because you can get by with stuff like this and make it?
Well, and honestly, I would feel so bad doing that to somebody. These people have no soul or conscience. I would feel horrible actually taking advantage of somebody that way. And I do remember, God, it has to be 20 years ago by now, a sheriff ringing the doorbell at my house. And I was like, oh gosh, now, that's not good. And it was hello. And they had stopped somebody on Highway 7 for speeding or a red light, doesn't matter. What?
1 minute.
Oh, and they were on the seat next to them. They had a stack of this is how old long ago it was, my checks printed, and they were driving around with them. And and he said, oh, well, somebody who worked at Target or Walmart or wherever got your check, made copies of it, and they sell them, and then they go around and then they sell them to people. Kind of like people sell credit cards and stuff too, numbers. And I said, man, if you could be that smart and be that innovative, imagine what you could do if you had a real job.
See that? Yes, all these people ruining computers and doing all that, do it for good. Get your cape on and do it for good. I got to go. We're out of time. I appreciate you, Katie. It was a strange day today. I thank you for coming on. Appreciate you a ton.
Thank you. Take care.
Life with Katie on the Al Travis Show.